Hi, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, core faculty for the College of Health Sciences and Public Policy at Walden University. And in this video, I'll be talking about Sustainable Development Goal number 7. So, Sustainable Development Goal number 7 has to do with ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. So, thinking about just uh, what has happened during the pandemic, and that the reason I like to visit the pandemic is because it's a good example of how when you have targets and goals that you set, when you don't quite achieve them, what are some of the repercussions from that? So the fact is, 1/3 of the world's population uses dangerous and inefficient cooking systems. I'm going to talk about this a little bit in more detail in a bit. But first, about so this amounts to about 2.6 billion people using a dangerous source of fire. And this has only kind of become worse more recently, and during the pandemic as well. So 759 million people lack access to electricity. A quarter of them live in sub-Saharan Africa. And this is important. And so there are systems put in place that I've experienced too, and we've experienced in the United States as well with load shedding and finding ways to efficiently use energy. And then energy efficiency improvement rate. So needing acceleration of energy efficiency. So accelerated action on modern renewable energy is needed, especially in heating and transport sectors. So this infographic goes into a lot more detail about what else is needed. But the means to achieve goals, there's just a couple. And so let's go over those now. But first, remember I said that to hold that thought, talking about sources of cooking. And so I collaborated with a colleague of mine and looked at a systematic review of pediatric burns in Nigeria. And so what was interesting in these findings was that we saw that unsafe cooking sources, not only the sources made a difference, but also where the placement is. So, for instance, we found that cooking sources that were from gas lines, which were not properly connected, or maybe the rice was cooking on the floor, and there was hot water. So pediatric burns result from these situations. And when you live in places where this is not an issue, it's hard to visualize and imagine. But these studies really go to show, and we did a systematic review of 8 or 9 articles in this, and created a Haddon matrix. So what are the targets? Now let's look at them. So 3 of them, just 3. One is ensuring universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services. Number 2, increasing substantially the share of renewable energy in the global energy mix. So we really need to get more energy efficient, and of course, progress must continue even after the pandemic. So by 2030, double the global rate of improvement in energy efficiency. So we need, in a nutshell, we need the proper mix and proper combination of both renewable resources, energy. If you think of gasoline, there's not an endless supply of this. This was once living material that is converted into gasoline. So it takes millions of years. Similarly, coal. Trees take millions of years to provide coal and energy. So looking for non-renewable to renewable resources is the wave of the future. Um, so this sums up everything that there is to know for Sustainable Development Goal number 7. Thank you for listening. In this segment, because in the main recording, the means to achieve targets were not covered, I'm going to quickly, in a minute, cover the 2 means to achieve targets. So pay specific attention to this. So we need to enhance international cooperation to facilitate access to clean energy research and technology, including renewable energy, energy efficiency, and advanced and cleaner fossil fuel technology, and promoting investment in energy infrastructure and clean energy technology. So there's a lot going on there, but again, the cooperation is key here. Providing infrastructure. It's not just providing the resources, but the means to provide cleaner, more efficient fossil fuel technology. And then number 2 is expanding infrastructure and upgrading technology for supplying modern and sustainable energy services for all in developing countries. In particularly least developed countries, small island developing states, and landlocked developing countries in accordance with their respective programs of support. So again, at all levels, developing countries, low middle income countries, high income countries, all need to come together internationally and provide the infrastructure and upgrade technology. Thank you for listening. Now, I wanted to record a third portion for Sustainable Development Goal number 7 because I felt like uh, uh, on 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 top of the goals, it's important to kind of characterize this in terms of numbers so that we can better understand how to truly achieve affordable and clean energy. Um, so this is, for those of you that may want to look at this, sdgtracker.org/energy. So universal access to modern energy. So by 2030, ensuring, and I went over this already, universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services. What's the status of this today? Right now, electricity access in all parts of the world are not equal, especially sub-Saharan Africa. But then you look at Pakistan and also I believe Nepal here. But just different pockets. Electricity access is actually still something that is to be desired. Access to clean fuels for cooking. Um, how are we doing right now here? Well, looking at our world in data, there's certain areas, certainly in sub-Saharan Africa, which there's more to be done, but also work is needed in South America. But looking at India, China, there's also a need for clean fuels for cooking. And this is according to 2016 data, our world in data. Looking at number 3, renewable energy, how are we doing here? Share of final energy consumption from renewable sources. Actually, most of these are through renewable sources, but in a lot of the high-income countries, this has actually gone up, and you can actually see temporal trends too. So our energy consumption has gone up, and so Mexico has curbed some of their usage, and Canada has stayed steady. So here's some of the increases. Sweden and Norway have all increased. so looking at energy intensity of economies, um, this is how it looks. An energy intensity level of primary energy, that's the ratio between energy supply and gross domestic product. So energy intensity is an indication of how much energy is used to produce one unit of economic output. So the lower ratio indicates that less energy is used to produce one unit of output, and that's what you want. So in upper middle income countries, this has gone down. In all countries, and so this is how this looks. Um, and you can take a look at how this energy efficiency can be improved. So what we're looking to do is improve this energy efficiency. So if this can become even better. So then international finance received for clean energy. So this is investments in clean energy. And there seems to have been some progress made in a lot of countries in terms of investment in renewable energy. And this is from the OECD and International Renewable Energy Agency. And you can look at the change in time. And you can see in 2000 there wasn't much invested. But as time went on, there was more and more financial investment in developing countries to support clean energy research and development. So hybrid systems were created. And this is where we're now. So there's still progress to be made from 2019. So these are some areas. The final area we're going to look at is renewable electricity generating capacity. So remember I was telling you about not only it's important to address the goals, but also be able to understand how we can improve infrastructure. So if we can improve the electricity generating capacity, then this can really help. And so China, Brazil, these countries are ahead here. And a lot of so China and India are the most populous countries in the world. So India is making some progress here, and definitely very improved from 2000. So it's good to look at all of these, and so the capacity is increasing. Sub-Saharan Africa, there's progress to be made. No data for U.S. or Russia or a lot of Europe. So this is the world, but then you can actually go yourself to this website and look in different places. Like you can look in North America. There's not enough data, but and kind of exclusively look in specific places. So that's more on Sustainable Development Goal 7, and you can kind of take this from a data perspective and better understand this. Thank you for listening.